Hey, what's up lovely people out there, and welcome to my channel where I talk about living in Japan on the JET program, traveling, or when we used to travel, finance, and other things like that. So I am Adri, I'm a 5th year on the JET program. I was placed in Hyogo Prefecture. I absolutely love it. Maybe you can tell I'm a 5th year because I am practically in my PJs right now, wearing some like fat animal like pants. Pretty proud of these, not gonna lie. Like a fat whale, like a fat elephant. It's actually called Fat Animals. It's great. And my shirt says Ashy because how could you not buy a shirt that says Ashy? And deeds not words on the back. You need to buy this if you see something like this. But even though it seems like I'm giving fashion advice in this video, what I want to talk about is some tips and tricks that I have learned over these 5 years about how to make a good learning environment for your students, how to make them feel comfortable, and how to get them to speak. Because I work at a high school, I work at a senior high school. A lot of the kids are very shy. I think my school's like a upper mid, so it's like pretty average, but getting them to talk is just like pulling teeth. Like, there will be times where you're like, alright, hey, good morning everybody, blah 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 blah, and then ask for volunteers and you just get this like blank stare. So hopefully this can help. I found a lot of hacks kind of on how to make the students feel comfortable and talk, so I'll give some of these quick tips. So first tip is to gauge your students' skill. And this is easier said than done, I feel, but this is a good basis for what you need to work around, right? So you can either talk to your JTEs, your Japanese English teachers, and kind of try to just see where the students are at. Really, you're gonna learn this just by being in the classroom and talking to the kids and seeing their reactions, and just from doing this teaching. Most of this job really is just learning from the on-site experience. Like, it's kind of hard to learn unless if you watch videos like this or just do it. So first, gauge it, and my second tip is to speak very slowly and enunciate and try to simplify your words as much as you can. Do it even maybe if you think it's a little too much. Try to make it simple so the kids have confidence and so they're not all like, oh my god, what's this person saying? Teacher just said the word like circuitous and like presumption and we don't know what that means, you know, so try to make it simple. Tip number 3 is once you have these two down, once you have number 1 down of just gauging the kids' level, number 2 of delivering it to them in an effective way, in an easy to digest way. Number 3 is for me, I try to make a warm and comfortable atmosphere, or kuki, as it is in Japanese. I try to make a good kuki. So to do that, for me, I just am kind of like a weirdo, goofy person naturally, so that kind of works in my favor. But there are a lot of ways where you can make the kids feel comfy, like smiling, obviously, if you start the class with like a joke or something. Sometimes I like to have the kids speak in English about like a silly or stupid topic. One of my topics was the kids like arguing whether they'd rather be a worm or a cicada, so just stupid. But things like that make it kind of open, because a lot of the classes and a lot of the ways the kids feel they have to act in Japan is very rigid. So if you can kind of get them to break that little ice wall, or that rigidity, that will help them to kind of be more relaxed in your class and want to talk more. So one hack I have found for making a comfortable atmosphere, at first was by accident, but I wrote on the board in Japanese, and that to them seems to kind of make the kids more open to the class, because they're seeing you're trying, you're bridging that gap. And for a lot of us English teachers, we're learning Japanese, so that's some common ground where we're learning Japanese, they're learning English, so we can kind of all struggle together on the struggle bus. We can struggle, because it's a real struggle. But on top of that, I wrote in Japanese, but The accident was I accidentally wrote the wrong kanji. So I was trying to write Nihongo, but I wrote like the kanji in reverse. So I wrote like Honjitsu, which is like today's special, or like today's daily thing or something. And the kids found it like hilarious. They were like, baka, you know, they're like, stupid teacher, she's so dumb. Not really, but they're like, oh, that's kind of cute. But that kind of helped the students to feel more comfortable. And for me, like, it lowered that like kind of status between the students and me, which I don't care. Like, for me, that's beneficial because they feel more comfortable. So that is one option you could do. It's maybe not the most authentic if you're purposely making mistakes in Japanese on the board, but you could just write it. That's one little hack. Okay. And so tip number four is just be yourself. So with number 3 in mind of making a good atmosphere, try to blend that with being yourself, because I think it's pretty easy to sense when people are not being genuine and when they're not being themselves. And if, as a teacher, as a public servant, you're trying to act like someone that you're not inherently, the kids are going to sense that, and it's going to make the class feel a little weird. So try to balance being yourself with also making the atmosphere kind of light and safe and comfortable. That's the main thing we want to do. And so the ultra hack number 5, how to get kids to volunteer and how to get kids to talk. So number 5 is building on steps 1 through 4 for gauging the English, speaking slowly, making a good atmosphere or kuki, being yourself. And number 5, to get the kids to talk, if you're able to do the other ones, which I'm sure you can. It's not hard, it just takes practice. Number 5 is the hack for getting kids to talk and feel comfortable is group pair work. So instead of, for example, calling immediately and saying any volunteers and calling out individual kids, what I do is I pose a question, have them talk in pairs. They'll talk about it and get used to it and dip their feet in the water, so to speak. And then after that, after they've already ran through it in English, have them talk in English. After they've run through it with their partner, then ask for volunteers. And I've seen maybe like 40 to 50% increase in volunteers, because it seems in Japan people don't really like being singled out. I mean, no one does really, but the students don't really like being singled out. They're very like shy, they're very quiet. So if they can get that kind of social, like, okay, this was right, I talked about it, I feel good, my partner agreed with me, or even if they disagreed, like, they were able to practice it and get that reassurance. That's helped tremendously to get students to volunteer. And one other thing I've found is if you give the kids an immediate reward for volunteering or talking, such as chocolate or a sticker or something they can see that they're working for, if you offer that, and if they're correct or incorrect, give it to them. That helps a lot. So hopefully that can help you out. This is just some things I've learned over the past 5 years. So what do you think? How are your classes going? Is there anything you want to improve? Is there anything that's harder than you thought? What are you going to do to make it so the kids try to get engaged more or talk more or volunteer more? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you around.
ももちゃんでーす